Hey, Geometry. Welcome back to another week. Hope you had a great weekend. You got to spend some time outside. I know I enjoyed the nice weather. Makes it a little easier to be quarantined when at least the sun is shining. But hope you had a great weekend. Ready to go? We're coming down to the home stretch, okay? So finish strong, really dig in. Especially those of you that are within a couple percents. Maybe you have, say, a 62%, really close to passing. Really dig in, try to get that grade up. I will do everything I can to help you get that grade to passing. I want you to find success in this class, okay? If you're having trouble, reach out to me, okay? Now, that doesn't mean you're just going to be able to submit everything right away without thinking about it. You're going to have to apply yourself. But please reach out if you have questions, and I'll try to help you figure it out. And that doesn't just apply if you're almost to a passing grade. Maybe you have a C+, you have a 77%. You're really close to that B-, okay? Really dig in, finish this year strong, okay? We're coming down to the end, but there's still time to get those grades up a little higher, okay? So today, we're going to spend a little time reviewing because I think some of you need a little more practice with this concept. It says here, write an equation of a line that passes through the point 1, 4, okay, and it's got to be parallel to this line right here, y equals 3x plus 2. Now, keyword here, parallel. Hopefully you remember, if they are parallel, that means they have same slope. So whatever the slope is of this initial line, it's going to be the same exact slope for our equation. So right here, y equals 3x plus 2, the slope. If we look here at y equals mx plus b, right there, that m, that's our slope. Yikes, that was a terrible arrow. Let me do that one more time. And all right, that's the best you'll get. Can't blame the smartboard anymore, but y equals mx plus b, okay? Now, that means m in our case, or the slope, is 3. Because it is parallel, that means it has the same slope, so we know it's going to have a slope of 3. Okay, at this point, we have enough information to solve it. So let's use this formula here. Remember, your x always comes first in an ordered pair, y comes second. So we're going to do y minus, now in this case, y1 is 4. Okay, now it equals, and then our slope is 3, parenthesis, x minus, this point, the last part, x1, which we know is 1. Okay, so now distribute that in, and we get y minus 4 equals 3x minus 3. Almost done. Add 4 to both sides. Add 4. Let me write this over here. Y equals 3x plus 1. Sorry for that green. It's kind of a nasty color in my opinion, but that'll do. Still got the right answer, but not a fan. Okay, so now this next equation, same idea. Let's get a different color, something not as nasty. So, except here it says write an equation. This time it passes through the point 2, 3. It's perpendicular. Now, if you forgot from last week, perpendicular, and this is what some of us forgot on the problems we solved. It's the opposite reciprocal, okay? Oops, I misspelled that. So the opposite reciprocal. And anytime we have a perpendicular line, it will be the opposite reciprocal to what the slope is of this line. So first, let's establish what the slope is of this line. And using the same rule for m in this case would be 1/2. Now, opposite means we are going to remember first, sorry, I'm saying too many things. That upside down T right there I drew, that means perpendicular. So the slope of a perpendicular line, opposite reciprocal. Opposite means you change the sign. So this one was 1/2, it's positive. So our answer is going to be negative. And then reciprocal means the top and the bottom switch. So the numerator and denominator switch. So instead of 1/2, it's 2. You can put 2 over 1 if you prefer. Okay, so our slope is -2, or -2 over 1 if you prefer. So now, we know the 2 here is our x1, the 3 there is our y1. and our slope will be negative 2. Let's go ahead and solve it. Y minus 3 equals negative 2, parentheses, x minus 2. Okay, now the key thing here, this first negative 2 right there, that's from our slope over here. The second negative 2, that's subtracting the x1 or the 2. Okay, so now distribute that negative 2 in, and we're going to have y minus 3 equals negative 2x plus 4. Negative 2 times negative 2 gives us a plus 4. Okay, so I need a tiny bit more space. And now let's finish it out. Let's add 3, and you should get y equals negative 2x plus 7. Now, if you ever want to check and just say, did I do this right? You can just plug in these x and the y values. So if I plug that 2 in here for x, 2 times negative 2 is negative 4. Negative 4 plus 7 is 3. So that's what we get for y. And what do you know? That's what we had for y. Okay, so now, if we scroll down here, we're going to review a little because we only have a few topics left, and then we're going to have to do our test. Okay, so I want us to review a little some of these different angle relationships. So if we look here, and it asks us, angle 1 and blank are corresponding angles. So angle 1's right here. Corresponding means they have the same relationship. So like up to the right, or down to the left, down to the left. In our case, compared to the x, the intersection, it's kind of straight up. So here, I'll get my mouse so you can see. So see, here's the intersection. It's like straight up. So we look over here, you go to the intersection straight up, it'll be that angle 5. Now the angle sign's already there, so we just have to put a 5. Okay, on our next one, alternate interior. Now first off, interior. Interior means the only options are on the inside. If we crush those parallel lines together, inside. So 3, 4, 5, and 8 are the only possible interior ones. Now obviously 3 is already chosen because it asks us for angle 3. And if we look, it says alternate interior. So alternate cannot be a linear pair. They can't be right beside each other or adjacent. Okay. And it has to be on the opposite side of the transversal. So we know it's going to be angle 8 there. So angle 3 and angle 8 would be alternate interior angles. Now this next one, alternate exterior. Okay, same concept for alternate, except now exterior means on the outside. So outside of those parallel lines. 1, 2, 7, and 6 are our only options. Now we're using 2 already. It tells us that. When we look down here, angle 7, that would be the alternate exterior angle. Okay, so our next one, angle 4 and blank are consecutive interior. Now hopefully you remember consecutive interior means the same as same side. So 4 and 8 would be on the same side. And our next one, 4 and what are vertical angles? Hopefully you remember vertical angles across the x. They are also going to be congruent, the same as each other. Okay, so the only option, oops, I don't have my pen, angle 1 here. Okay, that's the only option. And our final one, once again with angle 4, says 4 and what are a linear pair. Now this is the one time we have 2 choices. Okay, you could say either angle 2 or angle 3. The key thing about a linear pair, they have to be adjacent and they form a supplementary set of angles, so they add up to 180. So 4 could go with 2 or it could go with 3. I don't care which one you put, just choose one. Okay. And since they're supplementary, that means they add up to 180. Okay. Now we're just about done for the day. We got one final thing. We haven't had a question quite like this before, so really pay close attention. So right here it says, identify the slope of the line. So if we look here at this kind of line here, and to identify the slope, remember rise over run. That's probably the easiest, oops, let me get the rise over run, the easiest trick to remember. And that will tell us what our slope is, which can be represented by m. So you can choose any point. In this case, there's already some points on there. If you didn't have those though, as long as it's a point where it goes right through an intersection, that will work. Okay, so then rise is 1, 2, 3. The run is over 1. So in our case, it's going to be 3 over 1. Now, somebody might be saying, what if I didn't use those points? Okay, that's fine. So if instead of right here, you went up to my other dots up there, that also has a rise of 1, 2, 3, and a run of 1. If it's a straight line, it should have a consistent slope throughout. So our slope is 3 over 1. Now, the next question should be the easiest one you've ever had. Identify the slope of a line that is parallel to this line. If it's parallel, we know it has the same slope. Okay, same means it's exactly the same. So 3 over 1. And it's the same. Maybe write that down if you're taking notes. Parallel lines are the same. We mentioned it earlier. It still applies. They're always going to have the same slope. Now, hopefully you remember, perpendicular lines have opposite reciprocals. So let me put that down here one more time. Hopefully I'll spell it right this time. So they're opposite reciprocal, meaning instead of it being positive, because both of these are 3, positive 3, it's going to be negative, and it's going to switch to 1 over 3. Okay. Now, the final thing I want us to do, that would be the end of the question. However, let's real quick just kind of graph these so you can see. So let's graph the first one, a line that's parallel. We know it has the same slope. Now, it doesn't tell us where it's at, but just choose any point on here. So say I choose right here. It has a slope of 3. I go up 1, 2, 3 over 1. Up 1, 2, 3 over 1. And I could keep doing that, okay? And I draw in my line, and assuming I draw a straight line, that line will be parallel. Okay, they run beside each other. They run right beside each other there. Okay, so now, this next one, it says identify a slope that is perpendicular. We did that, negative 1/3, the opposite reciprocal. So let's change the color here. We'll do purple. So if I choose this random point, negative 1 over 3 means down 1, right 1, 2, 3. Down 1, right 1, 2, 3. Or I could go up 1 and left 3. Okay. Now, if I draw this line in, it's going to cross in a way that it forms a 90-degree angle with each of those parallel lines there, the blue and the green line. Okay, and that means it's perpendicular. So please let me know if you have any questions. Keep working hard, and I'm here for you. If you have anything, please let me know. Thanks.